Hey, everybody. How is everyone? We'll just give it a few minutes, let everyone trickle in. I think YouTube only promotes the video once it goes live, so it usually takes people some time. Actually, what I think I'll do next week is put a little menu that says we'll be on soon, so we can start the live stream and let everyone join. So in the meantime, I want to welcome everyone. Miss L, great to see you. Margaret, of course. Linz from Southern Oregon, great to see you. Nina Hill, or Nina, hi. Oh no, Nina. Nina says hi, everyone. Hi, everybody. Hey, Nina. Creative Concepts, hello from South Africa. All right. Karmic Kerfuffle. Did I say that right? Karmic Kerfuffle says hello. Welcome. Pioneer Priestess, Dre, great to see you on. How's the audio? How's the music? I turned up the music just a little bit because it was a bit low last week. So let me know how the audio is. Enki, great to see you. Peace and blessings to you, God. Kelsey, good morning. V. Jackson, hello from Texas. I miss Texas. I lived in Austin, Texas for a couple years. I had a really good time there. Dan Siege Movement, aloha. Great to see you. Aquarius Sky Clock, everything. Evening from England. Audio is good. All right. So we're now in the eclipse month. We had that eclipse last, what was it, Thursday? Or was it Wednesday? Wednesday for most of us. And that was in Virgo, the constellation of improvement, striving towards perfection. On a sort of day-to-day level, it rules our routines, our work, our service. And now with the eclipse, it's been about cultivating the healthier qualities of all this. The healthier qualities. Let me make sure I've got everything set up correctly here. This is 2022. This is the current sky. Okay, there we go. So releasing what the Hindus would call as past life karma around Virgo, around perfectionism, improvement, workaholism, getting too detailed, too OCD, too neurotic. So this was about clearing and releasing all those unhealthy Virgo qualities for the healthier ones to come in. So how'd you all feel it? Again, it was around Wednesday. We're slowly building momentum now. As we get into about Thursday of this week, it'll be definitely more manifesting. It'll be a more action-oriented phase. But the seeds have been planted. And so sometimes it can mean new perspectives, new insights, and again, a bit of clearing and a fresh new beginning. And I gotta say, with it being square Mars, I was expecting it, at least for me, to be a little bit more challenging. I actually didn't find it as challenging as I thought it would be. Usually with squares to Mars, things tend to be a bit over or under extreme with the fire energy, right? Assertiveness, needs, proactive. So in retrospect, yeah, I can see how there were maybe some imbalances, but with Mars specifically. But all in all, I would say, at least for me, it wasn't a particularly challenging eclipse. But I'm very curious, of course, to hear what the community has to say. How are you all experiencing it? Was it easy? Was it challenging? What came up for you? Did you feel the unhealthy Virgo qualities coming up? Are there any new, healthier qualities of yourself or new seeds you've planted that have come in since around Wednesday? And maybe what can now be implemented this week on Thursday's first quarter moon? Hello from Bayamont, Texas. I don't know where Bayamont is. Grand Rising. All right, so Karmic Kerfuffle says, so many wonderful improvements for me since the eclipse. Emotional breakthrough, financial help, more hope and energy. Yeah, I feel the hope. I feel the energy. That's great. It came through for you financially. Emotional breakthroughs, yeah. And I guess that has to do with the Pisces opposition, right? Pisces, of course, always involved with the Virgo, and Pisces is about connecting more with the spiritual dimension. So, but of course, an eclipse by itself is emotional, and a South Node eclipse about clearing and releasing. So very happy you see the positive in that, and you experienced them as well. Margaret says, I had several friends who went through a pretty life-shifting transformation. Lots of endings and releasing for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to think too of, a lot of my readings. The thing about readings is I normally get people going through, transformational time, which is why they usually want a reading. Personally, I can see it with Joanna. We were actually fortunate enough to take a little bit of time off. It was our honeymoon, our anniversary, and we had a little bit of a nature retreat, which is very nice. So at the nature retreat, it was great to connect more with the nature and just have a little bit of space there. So I didn't get too much of that social. I haven't heard too much of other people's perspective other than you all's. But I can say for certain that me and Joanna had a fresh new start. Let's put it that way. Lynn's list of downloads, more clarity, and a sense of forward movement. That's powerful. Yeah, that's great. You got the clarity. And yeah, the forward movement. I really felt that. I would say if there's probably one phrase or one perspective of what the eclipse felt like, I would say is this kind of forward movement, a fresh new start, which is usually a bit odd for any new moon because the new moon is such the beginning. We usually feel more of the forward movement later, but I have to say that it was definitely a quick shift. All of a sudden, a lot of things that were previously not working, not so much that they were not working, it's just that they were delayed. Like, for example, we're working on our residency here a little bit, the process of residency here in Spain, and things were kind of not flowing as much or just taking time, really. But then all of a sudden, on the eclipse day, a bunch of things got approved, things started moving forward, and of course the inspiration followed that. Dance Each Movement says, brutal. We had a fire on my floor. Oh my. Poor guy lost everything. No one hurt. Smoke inhalation was real bad. I'm just like, whatever. Oh man, that's intense. And a lot of this, of course, and that does sound like that square to Mars. Mars is fire. And I'm glad no one was hurt. But man, that sounds very intense. But that's kind of like what I was expecting, generally, the kind of energy to be around. And remember, about what the eclipse to be about. And remember that, of course, this all depends on the natal chart, right? Because if you've got the Virgo in a challenging position in your chart, then, that's going to be challenging. Or, I guess with a square to Mars or any square, it would be that, like I was saying earlier, if you have strong placements in the mutable signs, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, this is going to affect those the strongest, for sure. So, maybe Mars is in a certain house squaring up to Virgo in another house that are, prominent in the natal chart. Pioneer Priestess Dre, there seems to be a new beginning to a more authentic community being built for us. It all started with a tree on our house leading up to the eclipse. Oh, that's beautiful. That's great. Yeah, community. You could have maybe some of this in your 11th house of community, maybe the Mars, the new moon, the solar eclipse. But great to hear about the new beginnings and authenticity with community. I think we're going to see a lot of community stuff already. It's already been unfolding, but a lot of this collectively as well, with, again, a lot of the Uranus and Taurus energy that we've been talking about. Lynn's, lots of dreams. I'm a Virgo rising and have lots of outer planets in my 12th house. Yep, that'll do it. That'll do it. That's the prominence I was talking about there. Notions and Potions. That's a cool name. So Notions and Potions says amazing, actually. Doused every morning, getting a no, then asked the same. Thursday got a huge yes. Going to have a shamanic experience next week. Wow. And the mechanic said he'd fix my car for free. Well, that sounds very nice. And curious if you noticed in your life, and I want to see if there's parallels with mine, were things a bit slow or not manifesting as much maybe this last month, but then so a whole bunch of things kind of opened up, because that's how I felt, and it sounds like maybe you did too. I'm curious. Notions and Potions. Letting go of some people from the past, Pioneer Priestess. Yeah, that's always good with eclipses. Notions and Potions. I've been waiting for my house sale to complete for months. Oh, so you did notice it, right? You did notice that delay there. And then Friday got word that it'll be very soon. That's great. That's great. Nina, lots of crying, to be honest. Emotional roller coaster. Yeah, and that's the Pisces, and that's the square to Mars. Connecting with the Pisces, it's such an important time to connect deeply with our emotions, our spiritual self, release, clear, just in general. Connect more with our soul, basically. Last Karmic Live, finally caught the live feed. All right, great to have you. Linz is asking, would you say that the eclipse last week is connected to the eclipse in April? Yeah, they're always connected. They're always connected. But particularly, yeah, the last two eclipse seasons, so particularly the last year and a half, actually, could go so far, because that's how long we've had the South Node in Virgo. It's been about a year and a half now. So every 6 months we have the eclipses, and they're all part of the same, they're all connected. So where one ends, the other begins. One thing ends one eclipse season, it starts in the next eclipse season. It's going through that yearly cycle. But when you see them connected to the same sign, they're all very much connected. So in this sense, the last year and a half, they've all been connected. The next 6 months particularly connected. Then we start to shift into South Node in Leo, which will start a different kind of eclipse energy. So that'll be, I think, a year from now. Actually, let's see exactly. Since we've got the live stream, let's go ahead and take a look. So we're looking for when the South Node goes into Leo and where the North Node goes into Aquarius. And that's gonna, and then I'm curious what the, let me go ahead and set this to fixed. Where are we here? Tracking the sun, going forward months. Okay, so next eclipses. The next eclipses will be in, looks like March, because that's going to be a very partial. Oh no, is that February? That can't be right. That's not right. Yeah, I guess so. Late February, February 27th. No, that can't be right. It's not right. Hang on. No, it's this one here. So March 29th, we've got the solar eclipse. But backing up is going to be the total lunar eclipse. The total lunar eclipse will be in Virgo. So I think that's going to be the last one in Virgo. It's going to be around March 14th. Is coming up. So these are the last ones with Virgo and Pisces, I think. So the North Node will shift into Aquarius. Well, let's talk about the South Node first. South Node shifts into Leo in June. So June of next year, we really wrap up a lot of what's been this karmic energy the past year and a half, 2 years by this point. And then another step in the right direction in July, once the North Node goes into Aquarius. And then we have the fresh new eclipses with the nodes in different sectors. So last year and a half to, yeah, the next year, let's call it. for the eclipse, for the current eclipse energy, for the similar energy that we've been experiencing regarding this whole Virgo Pisces stuff. All right. All right, so Robville, hi Athen, could you say something about Venus in the chart? Let's take a look at Venus. Let me go ahead and get us back to where we are. So Venus is in Libra. Just shifted into Libra actually, which is where Venus is much more comfortable. Venus was in Virgo, which is definitely more challenging. And now she's well set in Libra. So Venus entered Libra here. October 4th, so just a couple days. So a couple days we've had Venus in Libra. So she's been challenged in Virgo for the past over a month now. And that dealt more with having to do all this kind of Virgo stuff, improvement, refinement with our relationships and also with our values. But now she's in Libra, so the theme now is going to be about enjoying and connecting to life in a more balanced way. Maybe you've noticed, I'm curious if anyone's noticed the shift with Venus in Libra, enjoying more of the balance in relationships, more reciprocity, more mutuality, coming to agreements, more harmony in relationships. She rules what we enjoy, what we value, and also how we connect with others. And so Libra is all about balance with that. And I'm curious if anyone's noticed things getting a little easier with the Venus stuff, values, relationships, maybe the past day or two. So Sarah Burnett says, I definitely felt my inner fire activated. Kali Ma presented herself to me during meditation. My inner warrioress is emerging. Very exciting. Awesome. Maybe that's that Mars. So we've got these solar flares. I don't know how many of you follow the solar flares, but we've had activity with the sun very strongly. I mean, really, it's a year of peak solar activity for I don't know how long. You know, with the solar cycle, the solar flare cycle or solar energy cycle. But just recently, back on Thursday and Friday, we had a lot of solar activity. And of course, it takes time for us to feel it. And so it's supposed to have been a weekend of feeling that solar activity. And I will say that when this does happen, again, the way I describe it is kind of short-circuiting energy. I can concentrate just fine. I actually have a pretty good sense of focus, but it's almost like a buzzing consciousness. There is higher energy, but there's also a high sense of sort of restlessness that I tend to experience. And I'm very curious to see if you all have noticed any changes in your mood, in your perspective, in life with solar activity, if you follow that, or just this weekend, have you noticed anything in terms of the sun having a kind of effect perhaps, or what I'm describing as a bit of that short-circuiting? So Miss Tree School I have Pisces North Node and Leo South Node. Yeah, that means you're having a North Node opposition, or you've recently had a North Node opposition, which is the halfway point of the 19-year life path cycle. So wherever the nodes are transiting right now relative to your natal chart, right now they're opposite, they're swapped for you, which is the halfway point. Usually things shifting and changing along the life journey quite significantly, and specifically for your life path. lens, Venus in Libra, would you say collectively we're seeing that, or can call that in? Both. It depends on, if you view life from a more predetermined perspective, like life has already been predetermined and we're just kind of going through the cycle, the motions, or if you're more on the free will side of things and you believe that we are making our own decisions and choices, and a lot of what we manifest comes from us. Depending on that will determine whether you see the planets as having an effect on us versus just that it's a good time. That's the weather, and so it's a good time to incorporate it. So I come from the belief that's a little bit of both, right? So I think it's both good to call it in and also what we're seeing collectively. So Pioneer Priestess says that I would say that we saw more of a clarity with balance or lack thereof in relationships. Yeah, there's been these themes coming up these past couple of days for me too, of how to rectify the balance, how to bring things back into balance with Venus and Libra. So Your Best Hope says, definitely noticing the solar flare effects for me and my 2 dogs. Yeah, and the animals too. I don't have any pets, but I'm very curious, and I'm sure the animals feel it, but I'm very curious if there's been any noticing of animals behaving differently during high peak solar flare activity. Yeah, restless energy. So Aquarius Sky Clock says, this is a great book on sun cycles and sunspots and flares. Okay, I think you might be sharing a link. I don't know if you can share links. Can you share links in the group chat? Maybe if you're not a moderator. Maybe not, I'm not sure, but yeah, if you have a link. So Last Karmic Live said, I actually told my cats while star gaming half hour ago that I sense something in the sky gazing. Right. So stargazing half hour before the live stream, it looks like. And then I was live. Cool. That's the best way to do astrology, as you all know. Go outside and look. Oh, that reminds me, yeah, when I was in the retreat, I saw the Milky Way again for the first time in like 10 years or something, because there's always so much light pollution where I live. Man, it's just, we live in these boxes, in these rooms, enclosed. We don't really get that vastness feeling. Looking at the sky, it's so vast. It's so interconnected. I don't know how to say that. So open, so intuitive, so enlightening, that, it's crazy to think that our ancestors were doing that every single night. Every night, tons of stars. And it's something that I hope to do more of, stargazing. So, Holilux, I've recently become a complete convert to Vedic. My 11th house is empty, and I searched for what that meant. Western, no problem. Making friends. Vedic, very difficult to keep friends. And you're finding that more accurate, the Vedic perspective. Yeah. The Vedic says these two systems, there's sometimes a lot of overlap, but sometimes they can diverge quite a bit. So happy to hear that you're finding the Vedic accurate. It's a great system, obviously. It's been used who knows how long, really. Tens of thousands of years. It's been refined. Gift Wrapped is asking, my teeth are extra sensitive. Saturn aspects? Yeah, bones, teeth. Taurus, Venus, rules the mouth, digestion. Yeah, look into those. Sounds like a lot are noticing the animals being active. So, Last Karmic Life, can't send a link. So, what's the name of the book? If you can just send the name, Margaret, maybe you can find it on Amazon and post the link for everyone once Last Karmic Life sends the name. So Linz goes outside and stands barefoot to ground herself during high solar activity or the sun's energy. Yeah, that's really good. I try to walk as much barefoot as I can. I wear sandals, which is better than shoes, but I could definitely level up and either go barefoot or some of those barefoot shoes. I've never actually tried those barefoot shoes. The ones that go around your toes. Maybe I can try some of those. Obviously the best thing is, of course, just barefoot though, yeah. What's your thoughts on Rex Bill's rulership book? Rex Bill's? You know, actually that doesn't come to mind. I'll have to look into that. Definitely haven't read it. I don't think. I mean, rulerships. Yeah, I think the only authors I've read on rulerships were Royal. Well, never a book specifically on rulerships. A Vedic book, Light on Life. That's a great Vedic book, by the way, Light on Life. Really good for rulers, actually. So your best hopes says, I'm fortunate in southern Arizona to live near observatories, so we have rules against light pollution. Oh, wow. See the stars every night. That's great. Margaret, sun energy can be overwhelming for me too. And tropical, I was a Leo, but since discovering I'm actually a Cancer, it makes so much more sense because of how strongly I gravitate to the dark and water. Yeah, and probably the lunar cycles too, I would imagine. Cancer tends to be very drawn to the water, the intuitive, and the lunar cycles. Last Karmic Life. Light pollution is a spiritual crime. Yeah, but we need our lights. I need my lights. I like my lights. I like my internet. I like my computer. But, you know, there's a way to live in accordance with nature, using technology in accordance with nature, and I hope, you know, we continue down that path as humanity. I'm going to kind of go through this chat for final comments, questions, and we'll start wrapping up soon. Glad you're enjoying the new newsletter format. Space bathtub. Oh, you just can't add links. There was a comment above about a book I was hoping to get the link for. I thought it was you, Last Karmic Life. That's someone else. Holylix, I found you a long time ago now because I'm a Fucus, and no one covers a Fucus. Yeah, the hidden 13th sign removed from the zodiac. Very, very important. It's like the 13th floor. They remove those. But very spiritual energy. The center of the galaxy is a Fucus. The Milky Way. Sorry, Margaret, I was confused about who sent that link. I mean, who mentioned the book. I was hoping to get a link to that book. Virgo should actually be ruled by Venus. Interesting concept. Interesting concept. The Virgin, the feminine archetype in the constellations. You could see that. And Earth as the ruler of Taurus. You can see that as well. Sorry guys, looks like I created a lot of confusion about the book link. It was someone else. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. Thank you, everybody. So if you want to join me, I'm going to join Joanna's live stream, where we're going to do some groundingness, some mindful meditation practice. Let me go ahead and get you all the link here for whoever wants to join. Her channel's Mind Mastery. Or Margaret, maybe you beat me to it. Margaret, if you could post the link to her live stream. Joanna, as we do some mindfulness every week after this live stream. Joanna, my wife, she's a coach, psychologist, also studying yoga, and in my opinion, very good at teaching mindfulness and health in general, in my opinion, but in this case, mindfulness and groundedness. Helps me, this mindfulness practice every week helps me connect to my body. This is the end of my workday over here in Spain, wrapping up, and by the end of the day, I'm quite disconnected from my body, and this helps me reconnect. Okay, thanks, Margaret. Margaret got the link. So there's the link. I'll post it again. Why is mine different? It should be the same link. V3RG, yep, that's the one. All right, cool. So yeah, for those that want to continue this, it's not a discussion or anything. It's just going to be a mindfulness practice, but it's available to whoever wants to join. So again, have a great week, everyone, and I'll see you all next time for the next live community live stream. All right, take care. Bye-bye.